The hospital doors flew open, and my heart raced. I was about to meet my first grandchild. I didn't know that joy would turn to heartbreak within minutes. Lily's voice echoed from her call hours ago. "Mom, she's here! Our baby girl! My daughter, my heart was a mother now." I hurried down the hallway, joy pulsing through me. In her room, Lily glowed despite exhaustion, her dark hair spilling over the pillow. She cradled a tiny bundle. "Mom, meet Emma," she whispered, eyes glistening. I brushed Emma's petal, soft cheek, her yawn melting me. This was our family's new dawn, love filling the sterile room. Then Ethan strode in, his tailored suit crisp, smile hollow. His gaze fell on Emma's pink blanket, and his face hardened. "A girl," he said, voice cold, edged with cruelty. Lily's smile faltered. "Isn't she perfect, Ethan?" she asked, hopeful. He stepped back, as if the crib offended him. "I wanted a son, not this." His words cut like a blade. I froze, hand on Lily's shoulder, stunned. Vivian, his mother, swept in, heels clicking, perfume overwhelming. She leaned over the crib, sneering. "A girl. What a shame to our family," she spat. "No heir, no legacy. You failed us, Lily." Tears spilled down Lily's cheeks as she clutched Emma, who fussed, sensing her mother's pain. "She's our baby," Lily whispered, pleading. Ethan's jaw tightened. "I can't do this. I want a divorce." They stormed out, the door slamming, leaving Lily sobbing in my arms. I held her, rocking her like when she was small. "Mom, why would he say that?" she choked out. I wiped her tears, vowing silently to protect them. In the hall, I overheard Ethan's low voice on his phone. "Yeah, Mom. It's done. We'll cut them off. No support, nothing." Rage surged through me, my grip tightening on the doorframe. This betrayal ran deeper than I'd feared. How could I save Lily from a monster I'd trusted? Ever been blindsided by family cruelty? Share below. That night, our world shattered, but the fight was just beginning. The drive home from the hospital was a quiet descent into shadow. Emma's soft gurgles and Lily's stifled sobs were the only sounds piercing the silence. My daughter, once a beacon of light, looked hollow, her eyes red and swollen as she clutched her baby like a lifeline. I glanced at her in the rearview mirror, her face pale against the car seat, and my chest tightened with a mix of grief and rage. How could Ethan abandon them like this? I tucked them into Lily's old bedroom, the faded floral wallpaper, a faint echo of happier times. The scent of chamomile tea filled the air as I set a steaming mug beside her, hoping it might soothe her shattered spirit. "Mom, she'll be okay, right?" Lily whispered, rocking Emma, her voice fragile, like she was pleading for reassurance. I nodded, forcing a smile. "She's perfect, honey. You both are." But inside, I was burning. How could he call my granddaughter a failure? I stayed up that night, watching their peaceful breaths, Emma's tiny chest rising and falling, the only thing keeping me anchored. The next afternoon, a sharp knock jolted me from folding Emma's blankets. A courier stood at the door, his face blank, handing me a manila envelope with Ethan's name scrawled across it. Divorce papers. I tore it open, hands trembling, and read the cold words. Irreconcilable differences due to failure to produce a suitable heir. Suitable. My granddaughter was a miracle, and he dared reduce her to a flaw. Lily saw the papers and sank onto the couch, tears streaming down her face. He hates her. Mom, she choked out, voice raw. I knelt beside her, pulling her close. He's wrong, Lily. You and Emma are everything. My words were fierce, but they couldn't erase her pain. That evening, Vivian's voice sliced through the phone, sharp as a blade. A girl. A disappointment. Lily's brought shame to our family. Our legacy needs a son. She hung up before I could respond, her venom already spreading. By morning, whispers infected our small town. Lily had trapped Ethan, failed to deliver. At the grocery store, neighbors' stares burned, their eyes judging my daughter like she was nothing. I held my head high, shielding Lily, but their cruelty stung like salt in a wound. That night, as Lily slept fitfully, I found Ethan's tablet on the kitchen counter, left behind in his rush to abandon us. My hands shook as I powered it on, searching for answers to his cruelty. An email notification blinked, and my stomach dropped. It was from Sophia and Hyras, her words dripping with promise. Darling, once you're free, we'll have everything. Our empire, no baggage. Attached were photos. Ethan with a stunning woman, her arm around him, smiling at a glittering event months ago while Lily was pregnant. Rage burned through me like wildfire. This wasn't just about a son. He'd planned to discard my daughter for wealth, for a life without shame. I sat in the dark, tears stinging my eyes, the truth searing. He'd never loved Lily at all. Each photo, each word, was a dagger, twisting deeper. Ethan hadn't just betrayed Lily, he'd orchestrated a life where she and Emma were expendable. My fingers gripped the tablet, knuckles white, as I pictured confronting him, exposing his lies. But what could I do against his wealth, his power? The weight of it pressed down, but I wouldn't let him destroy us. That moment, staring at the glowing screen, my resolve hardened like steel. I'd fight for my daughter and granddaughter, no matter the cost. The storm was coming, and I'd be its reckoning. The days bled into weeks, each one heavier, like a storm cloud refusing to break. Lily barely left her room, her laughter replaced by a silence that chilled me. She sat by the window, Emma cradled in her arms, whispering apologies to her baby girl as if she'd done something wrong. "Mom, am I enough?" she asked one night, her voice so small it pierced me. "You're more than enough, Lily," I said, my words fierce, conjuring memories of her dancing in the kitchen, fearless and bright. I needed answers to pull her from this darkness. Late at night, when the house was still, I returned to Ethan's tablet, my fingers trembling as I scrolled through his messages. A text chain from before Emma's birth stopped me cold. "If it's not a boy, we're done," Ethan wrote. "The deal with Dad's firm needs an heir for the merger." Vivian's reply was ice. No son, no legacy. Divorce her if it's a girl. She's useless. The words seared into me like a brand. They'd planned this, tying Lily's worth to a child's gender, all for a corporate deal. My daughter was just collateral damage in their ruthless game. I showed Lily the texts the next morning, my hands steady despite the fire inside. Her eyes widened, then flashed with anger, not tears. They planned to throw me away. She whispered, clutching Emma's blanket like a shield. I nodded, throat tight. But we're not letting them win, honey. I reminded her of her strength, how she'd faced losing her dad, how she'd built a life through grief. A spark flickered in her eyes, faint but real, like embers catching flame. That afternoon, I called Clara, my lawyer friend with a sharp mind and sharper sense of justice. "Margaret, what's happened?" she asked, her voice warm but urgent. I poured out everything: Ethan's affair, the texts, the divorce papers. "We'll bury them," she said, her tone like steel, promising a fight. Her words lit a fire in me, a hope that we could turn this pain into power. But as I hung up, fear crept in, cold and heavy. This fight could break us if we lost. Ethan's wealth, his connections. Could we really stand against them? Lily's hollow eyes haunted me, her spirit teetering on the edge. How could I let them crush her? I paced the kitchen, Emma's soft coos from the next room grounding me. We weren't just fighting for justice, we were fighting for Lily's light, for Emma's future. What betrayal have you uncovered that changed everything? Share below. That day, staring at those damning texts, I swore they'd pay for every tear Lily shed. The battle lines were drawn, and I was ready to wage war. The weight of Ethan's betrayal clung to me like damp air, but I refused to let it drown us. Each morning, I watched Lily cradle Emma, her eyes softening as she sang lullabies, a flicker of her old spark returning. It gave me hope, but it also fueled my fire. Ethan and Vivian would pay for their cruelty. I met Clara at her downtown office. The creaky floors and coffee stained mugs a stark contrast to the polished world we were fighting. "Margaret, we've got him," she said, glasses slipping down her nose as she slid over emails showing Ethan hid assets in offshore accounts to dodge child support. Receipts tied his affair with Sophia to secret meetings during Lily's pregnancy. Each piece was a weapon, and I clutched them tightly, my resolve hardening. Back home, Lily was healing, her smile faint but real as Emma babbled and grabbed her fingers. But Vivian's poison spread like wildfire. She'd told the town Lily was a gold digger who'd trapped Ethan. At the market, old Mrs. Carter, who once slipped Lily candy, turned away, muttering about that shameful girl. It cut deep, but I held my head high, shielding Lily. "They don't know us, honey," I said, voice firm. Inside, I was seething. How dare they judge my daughter when Ethan was the liar? Clara and I worked late, her laptop glowing with bank records. Ethan had funneled money to Sophia's family, securing his place in their empire. His greed was laid bare, each transaction a betrayal. One rainy afternoon, an embossed invitation slipped under our door. Ethan's family gala, likely sent by mistake. It was their annual show, flaunting wealth to the town's elite. My mind raced. This was our stage to expose them. I showed Lily the gold-etched card, her eyes widening. "Mom, are we really doing this?" she asked, voice trembling but curious. "We're not just fighting Lily. We're winning," I said, my determination ironclad. The plan took shape. Walk into their world. It play their game, then shatter it with the truth. But as I clutched the envelope, fear gnawed at me. What if this backfired? What if I dragged us into a storm we couldn't escape? Clara's evidence was our arsenal, but the stakes felt impossibly high. Ethan's wealth and connections loomed like a fortress. Could we really bring it down? Lily's faint smile, Emma's tiny hand in hers, pushed me forward. This wasn't just about revenge, it was about reclaiming their dignity. If you're still watching, hit subscribe. Twists like this are coming. That moment, staring at the invitation. I wondered if I was ready to unleash this reckoning, or if it would consume us, leaving our family more broken than before. The night of Ethan's family gala felt like stepping into a lion's den, the air heavy with the scent of rain-soaked roses. Lily and I drove to their sprawling estate, the invitation burning a hole in my purse. She wore a simple navy dress, clutching Emma's photo for strength, her eyes sharp with a fire I hadn't seen in months. "Mom, we're just pretending, right?" she whispered, voice steady but laced with nerves. "Until we flip the table," I said, squeezing her hand. Inside, the ballroom glittered. Chandeliers casting golden light, champagne glasses clinking, laughter echoing off marble floors. Ethan and Vivian stood at the center, basking in their wealth, oblivious to us slipping through the crowd like shadows. Ethan spotted us, his smug smile faltering for a split second before he strode over, charm dripping like venom. "Margaret, Lily, here to make peace?" he asked, voice thick with condescension, as if we were begging for scraps. Vivian joined him, her red lipstick stark against a cold smile. "How generous of you to show up, despite everything," she said, eyeing Lily like dirt. I forced a smile, my stomach twisting. "We wouldn't miss it," I said, voice sharp but calm. Lily nodded, her grip tightening on her purse. Where Clara's USB drive held our arsenal, texts, emails, audio of Ethan's cruelty. We mingled, my pulse racing as I chatted with their elite friends, all while picturing the moment we'd tear their world apart. As the night wore on, Ethan and Vivian grew bolder, raising glasses to their new life, with Sophia, the heiress, gleaming at his side. "To legacy," Vivian declared, the crowd cheering, blind to their lies. I caught Lily's eye across the room, her nod steadying my nerves. The MC announced a guest toast, and I stepped forward, legs trembling but resolve like iron. "I have a few words," I said, my voice cutting through the chatter. The room hushed, Ethan's brow furrowing, his smirk fading. I gripped the podium, the USB drive heavy in my pocket, my heart pounding like a war drum. Every eye was on me. Business partners, socialites, all waiting. I pictured Emma's tiny face, Lily's broken spirit, and the lies that had nearly destroyed them. This was our moment. But the stakes were crushing. One wrong word could ruin us, turn their world against us forever. Could I really pull this off? Lily's fierce gaze anchored me, her strength fueling mine. Ever stood up to a bully in front of everyone? Share below. They thought we came to beg. They didn't know we came to destroy. The ballroom's chandeliers cast a golden glow, but the air crackled with tension, like a storm about to break. I stood at the podium, gripping the wood, the USB drive in my pocket heavier than stone. Ethan's partners and Vivian's socialite friends stared, expectant, while Ethan smirked, thinking I'd falter. Lily stood at the room's edge, her navy dress catching the light, her gaze fierce. "To family," I began, voice steady, pausing for effect. "And to the truth that binds us, or breaks us." I signaled the tech booth, and the screen flickered to life. Ethan's texts flashed, bold and damning. If it's not a boy, we're done. She's useless. His voice followed, cold and cruel from Clara's audio clips. A girl. Not this. I want a divorce. Gasps rippled through the crowd as emails to Sophia appeared, detailing his affair, followed by bank records showing hidden assets to dodge child support. This is the man you toast, I said, my voice cutting like a blade. A Lear who abandoned his daughter and wife for money. Ethan's glass slipped, shattering on the floor, his face pale as whispers turned to outrage. Vivian stood, fury twisting her features, but the crowd's murmurs drowned her, partners shaking their heads. Lily stepped forward, her voice clear, unwavering. You called my Emma a shame, she said, staring Ethan down. She's my everything, and you're nothing. Her words silenced the room, her strength a beacon in the chaos. Pride swelled in me, but my hands trembled as I stepped down, the weight of our victory sinking in. Business partners walked out, one muttering, "We're done," as deals collapsed. Vivian's friends turned away, their loyalty crumbling like ash. We walked out together, the gala in chaos behind us, glasses clinking nervously, voices rising in shock. The cool night air hit us as we reached the car, the weight of their betrayal lifting, but tears pricked my eyes. We'd torn their world apart, exposed their lies for all to see, but the cost lingered. Lily's hand found mine, her grip firm, yet her eyes held a flicker of pain. Those words, that rejection, still scared her. I wanted to erase it, to make her whole again, but could we ever heal from wounds this deep? The drive home was quiet. Emma's photo resting on Lily's lap, a reminder of why we fought. We'd won, but the victory felt heavy, laced with the sorrow of what they'd taken. Lily's trust, her light. How do you mend a heart broken by those meant to love you? That night, we'd shattered their empire, but the scars they left still burned, a reminder that justice, though sweet, doesn't erase the pain. Weeks after the gala, the dust of our battle began to settle, but the scars lingered like shadows at dusk. Ethan's empire teetered. His business partners gone, their trust shattered by the truths we'd exposed. Sophia, his heiress, filed for divorce, citing the fraud we'd laid bare, leaving him alone in his crumbling world. Vivian, once the queen of social circles, was a ghost in town. Her head bowed as she passed, avoiding eyes that once adored her. I saw her at the market, her designer coat frayed, her confidence stripped away. Part of me wanted to gloat, to rub their ruin in her face, but a sweeter victory was watching Lily bloom again, her smile returning like sunlight after a storm. Lily poured her heart into a small bakery, Emma's Light. Started from our kitchen with flour, dusted hands and a spark in her eyes. Emma, now toddling, giggled at her side, smearing jam on her cheeks as Lily kneaded dough. "Mom, look at her smile," Lily said, her grin wide and real. The girl I'd raised shining through. The bakery's warm glow became our sanctuary, its name a quiet nod to the daughter who'd pulled her through the darkness. Our house, once heavy with grief, filled with new sounds. Emma's laughter, the clatter of mixing bowls, Lily's soft humming of old songs. Each note, each giggle, stitched our wounds a little tighter. The town's whispers faded, replaced by hesitant apologies. At the market, Mrs. Carter, who'd once turned away, approached with a soft voice. "We didn't know, Margaret," she said, her face flushed with shame. I nodded. Polite but guarded, unable to forget how they'd judged Lily when she was at her lowest. Clara kept me updated. Lawsuits piled up against Ethan. His assets frozen, his name synonymous with betrayal. Justice felt like a weight settling into place, grounding us. But it couldn't erase the nights Lily had cried herself to sleep, her sobs echoing in my memory. Those moments haunted me, a reminder that victory didn't heal everything. One evening, as the sun dipped low, painting the kitchen golden, I sat with Lily on the porch, Emma toddling between us, chasing fireflies with her curls bouncing. "You did this, Mom," Lily said, her voice steady, her hand brushing mine. "You fought for us." I shook my head, a lump in my throat. "We fought, honey. Together." Her strength, her resilience, was my anchor. But as Emma's laughter filled the air, a pang of sorrow hit me. She was growing so fast, her eyes bright with wonder, unaware of the father who'd thrown her away like she was nothing. One day, she'd ask about him, about the man who'd called her a shame, who'd planned to erase her from his life. How would I explain that kind of betrayal to a heart so pure? I watched Emma's tiny hands reach for the flickering lights, her joy a testament to our triumph. We'd built something beautiful from their ashes, but Ethan's shadow lingered, a ghost I couldn't banish. The bakery thrived, the town softened, but the fear of that future question, who was my dad, clung to me. How do you tell a child her father chose greed over love? That night, as Lily tucked Emma into bed, I stood on the porch, the stars bright above, and vowed to protect them always. Our victory was real, but the wounds they'd left still ached, a quiet reminder that healing is a journey, not a destination. 3 years later, the scars of our battle had faded, but their echoes lingered like a distant storm. Emma's light, Lily's bakery, thrived, its warm glow drawing crowds from across town. Emma, now a bright-eyed 3-year-old, danced through the shop, her curls bouncing as she handed out cookies, her laughter a melody that healed us both. Ethan's world had crumbled, his firm bankrupt, lawsuits burying him in debt. Sophia, his heiress, had left him, her family severing ties after the gala's fallout. Vivian, once a social queen, was a pariah, her name whispered with pity. Their ruin felt like justice carved in stone, a testament to the truth we'd exposed. One crisp morning, as I swept the bakery porch, Ethan appeared, unshaven, his suit wrinkled, eyes hollow. "Margaret, please," he said, voice low, almost broken. "I just want to see Emma." Lily stepped out, holding Emma close, her face hard. "You don't get to walk back in," she said, voice like steel. "You called her a shame. You don't deserve her light." Emma looked up, curious, unaware of the man who'd thrown her away. "Leave," I said, my tone cold, final. He turned, shoulders slumped, and vanished into the morning mist, a shadow of the man he'd been. Emma's crayons scattered across the floor like bursts of color as I watched her play, her joy a shield against the past. Our story spread online, shared by strangers who saw their own fights in ours, reminding me that justice isn't just revenge, it's rising above the ashes. I'm Margaret, and this is our truth. Emma's laughter forged our strength, unyielding against their lies. If this story moved you, like and subscribe. What would you do for justice? But some ghosts don't stay buried. What if the past found its way back